Hey everybody, welcome back. Here we are. I get the name of the game wrong on occasion. That should really be like a prerequisite for being able to record a video, but here we are. YouTube, thankfully, is not a meritocracy, or I would be on, quick, think of another video platform. E-Bombs World? No, okay, but hopefully not. Here you go. It's the randomizer. Just a regular old Maggie run to the beast. Again, still gotta work on my, is it James McAvoy that plays the Beast? You know the guy, you wouldn't like the Beast when he's here, you know what? Anyway, sorry, I always get the Jameses confused. The Marsdens, the McAvoy, it is indeed James McAvoy, okay. Anyway, here we go. Maggie to the Beast, very doable run, and we got a heck of a little streak going on here. It is 8:17 a.m. on a Monday morning. I gotta tell you, I've been embracing the 7:30 a.m. alarm. I've been looking forward to it as okay. Well, you know what? Just hit me. Never mind. I'm the greatest. There's more enemies on this floor. Is that even possible? Okay, just hit me. I've been embracing the 7:30 a.m. Alarm. I am now officially. I would say. I'm at a point where the only people who can make fun of my sleep schedule, except for people that are jealous and wish they had it and are like, 7:30, what are you, a million years old? And meanwhile, they're, you know, just lying in bed, getting angry that they're not asleep. They look at the clock, they go, oh, 3:55 a.m., okay, well, like, let's bargain. I bet I'll be asleep by 4. What, 4:02 a.m., and then you get angrier and angrier, and you can't sleep because you're getting so dang angry. I've been there, okay? Those people will mock you when you got a healthy sleep schedule and you wake up early. And the only other people are like, oh, you know, you woke up at 7:30, that's cute. I do the morning drive for the local radio station. I wake up at 2:31 a.m. I finally figured out what secondhand does. Look at that. Well, I'm not on the #1 morning show in Vancouver, okay? So I'm a million commuters a day don't rely on me to, you know, tell them what happened in the news last night, recycle Late Night with Jimmy Kimmel bits, and then, you know, play the same songs every other radio station is playing. I'm operating the 33rd, 1000th most popular morning show on YouTube. So I get afforded some luxuries, like waking up at 7:30 a.m. I gotta tell you, I've run the gamut. I wonder if in the course of my whole life, this is an interesting question. I wonder if over the course of my whole life, I've woken up in every hour that exists in the day. I gotta tell you, like, I mean, you might say obviously, you know, you've been alive for, I don't know, like 12,000 days or something like that. I'm very, I love back of the napkin calculations. I'm about 32.75 years to days. 11,953.75 days. You got to admit, the back of the napkin calculation turned out pretty nice on that one. Go ahead, just hit me, because I didn't even... I dodged like Charlize Theron in Prometheus. But I don't know if it's true. I think you got to do a couple of things. The first thing I would do is, like, the first year of your life doesn't count for the purposes of this. Not for the purposes of, you know, your birthday or something like that, but because when you're a baby, you're just waking up constantly. You know, it's kind of not. It's whether or not you want to be, like, you know, right, or whether or not you want to get that on a technicality. You know, I would rather make a good faith attempt to suss it out. So I'm trying to think. I've had a few, and also you wake up all the time. I mean, like, when you get up. Like, let's define that as, like, you know, you've decided your sleep is over, and it's time to arise, chicken, arise. I'm scared of this. So I'm just going through like the cycles of my life, you know? I'm 32 years old, but I've gone through a lot of phases. There was a phase of being a child. Typically went to bed, you know, my memory of my sleep schedule, like up to middle school, is that I never went to bed like later than 10, and I woke up at like, you know, 6 every day to get to school. Which is another thing. I'm not sure, like, I think we need to consult some, like, sleep scientists to figure out if it's advisable to be sending our 10-year-old kids to school at like 8:05 a.m. I don't think anybody's at their peak at 8:05 a.m. I think there's, you know, a group of people out there, and I'm getting lost in the tangents already, which is how you can tell it's going to be a good week, but you ever think that maybe there's some, like, really smart, academically minded individuals out there that just never really took to school because they have they're wired more to be like an afternoon type person? I guess life is unfair, but at the same time, you're like, man, 8:05 a.m.? Really? I mean, I know I keep saying this maybe once every 2 months, but they really had us getting hungry for lunch at like 10:15 a.m., right? The sun would still be rising. I'd be sitting in, you know, like my second period class going like, oh my god, I'm so hungry. I really want to eat like a huge box of McCain French fries that have been reheated in an industrial microwave. It's criminal. But anyway, okay, so there was like the 10 to 6 era of my life. Then in high school, things got a little messed up. You know, the internet was popular. I could talk to my friends on you know, instant messaging clients. I could watch them. What is this, by the way? You seeing this? I've been working out. Look at that. South Beach diet, baby. Intermittent fasting. Squeezing betwixt the poops. I didn't know you could do that. Started on the weekdays. You got no difference, obviously, because you still gotta go to school. But on the weekends, I was going to bed at like 3, 4 a.m. Occasionally, I have some memories of like watching whatever was on the movie channel at like, and I know you're gonna be like, we know what it was. No, it wasn't. Look, do I strike you as the kind of guy who would do that? I had access to the internet. I was watching the movie channel to like, you know, get culturally up to speed. This is where all these references have come from. Those are not the secret rooms, huh? You know, I remember like watching Major Payne or something like that. It's 4 in the morning. My dad comes out of his bedroom and is like, "What the hell are you doing? You know, you're 14 years old. Why are you watching this movie at 4 a.m.?" And the answer is, you know, because you can. It's your first little dose of independence. Those weekends, you know, I go to bed 3 or 4 a.m. I'd probably wake up at like noon. So I would say every hour between 6 and noon has definitely contained some wake-up time. Then in college, there were definitely some afternoons where I got up at maybe 1, maybe 2. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Outside of like I don't even know, like a illness situation, I don't know if I've ever woken up like past 3 p.m. And even just admitting that, you know, at times in my life I've woken up at 3 p.m. Not regularly, but, you know, for a period. Remember, we usually do, we have to use it on this floor. Like, the Yum Heart is such a good, get for us long term. Especially if we're gonna be fighting, like, hard bosses, but... Okay, get me out of here. Let's caffeinate. But yeah, it's... What was I saying? I can't remember, really. Oh, yeah, the sleep schedule. I don't know if I've ever had a day where I've woken up, like... I've gone to bed so late that I've woken up past 3 in the afternoon. I always... It's almost like the same kind of way you feel like when you wake up... If you've never experienced a hangover, like waking up in the afternoon gives you that... A bit of a similar sort of vibe. For me, at least. You know, you might not have the nausea... You might not have the, you know, the pounding head, You might not have a mouth that's as dry as the Sahara Desert. You might not have, you know, bowel movements so concerning that you think you immediately need to go see medical attention. But the psychological factor is the same. Like, when I wake up, and I can't remember the last time I got up, you know, like, past noon, for example, but, like, I remember you'd wake up and you'd be like, oh, I feel like such a piece of crap. I destroyed my sleep schedule, and for what? For what? Killing me won't bring back your gosh darned honey. Anyway. Every hour, by the way, between, like, I would say 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. has been covered by flights. That absolutely, without a doubt. There's, you know, you gotta take a 4 a.m. flight, you gotta wake up at, you know, 1:30 a.m., or maybe you just don't go to bed, but anyway. So, I don't know, that was kind of like a useless thought experiment, but you never know until you get there. As mentioned, it is a Monday. I did record one Isaac episode this weekend, but we honestly had, like, a pretty busy weekend from, like, a domestic responsibility standpoint. I'll tell you why. I mean, I always, like, I'm in, like, full dad mode. I'm just gonna be honest, you know? I'm, like, a changed man. Yeah, versus when I was, you know, just a piece of garbage and waking up at 2 p.m. 11 years ago. But... hey, maybe that's how, you know, 11 years ago I was living in South Korea. Maybe if we just filter that by time zone, I probably have woken up at every hour of the day on purpose. But again, people are like, please get off of this topic that has no actual interest factor whatsoever. And is really just insulting to those who get up late. Hey, you can get up late and A, have a good reason for it. I know you're gonna be like, you know, everything's a good reason. I don't know about that. I mean, like, if you're working third shift or something like that, you know, it's... You got no choice or very little choice in that. Or maybe you had to, you know, stay up late for, you know, you got ill or something like that. It happens all the time. You're frozen. He's not gonna 180. It's not possible. He's gonna 180. Can you just, like, blow up? You know what? One good turn deserves another. Okay, we really need, like, a deal with the devil on the next floor. We're getting mighty close to where we're supposed to go fight the beast, and things are going to be a little nasty there. But, you know, on an average weekend, you know... hold on. I'm saying you know way too much here. Every weekend I vacuum and Swiffer wet jet the whole house. I'm not trying to flex that Procter & Gamble name brand London Drugs money there. It's just the way that it is. Hold on. I'm going for it because this is really like a Kingdom Hearts chain of memories in here. If you get IV bag, that's fine. We'll farm up enough HP to get blood bag from the other one, hopefully. Or this could be just amazing for our shop as well. The money we get, we use on the Judgment. When we get the blood bags, that's when we start playing the Demon Judgment to hopefully get our first good deal with the devil item. And you know what? We can filter a little bit through the Key Beggar here. That's not an amazing get, and is yet another example of, like, almost all of the beggars not being that good. Judgment notwithstanding, and Demon Judgment also notwithstanding. So I've already got, you know, a little bit of chore duty. Not a ton, but a little bit of chore duty. And then every other weekend, which was this weekend, I gotta clean the bathroom, so I did that as well. Then, a surprise chore came up, and I'll tell you how. I woke up on Sunday morning. I heard some rustling coming from the baby's nursery. So I, you know, I wouldn't say in a panic, but in a bit of a rush, I opened up the baby monitor so that I could see what was going on in there, and our daughter was on her hands and knees in the crib, trying to vault herself over the side. You know what? I'm trying to think of, like, the way that you might try to vault over a fence that's just slightly taller than you are. She's been really, like, taking it as any opportunity that she can get to climb on things and to stand up and then, you know, practice standing and sitting. And, you know, she's getting really good at it. I'm sure she's going to start to, you know, take her first, like, unsupervised steps soon. So I said, whoa, and I rushed into the nursery and, you know, took her out. And then later that day, we lowered the crib. There's, like, a adjustable bed height. First, we were naive as new parents, I guess. We had the crib at, like, the medium height, and the reason for it... Hold on, was there a rainbow poop? There is a rainbow poop. We had the crib at, like, the middle height, because that was convenient for us, you know, to be able to not have to hyperextend all of our vertebrae in order to get her into the crib. That seemed like a bit of a bonus. Now I've realized that was very stupid, and, you know, Mother Nature doesn't care about your petty complaints. So we put it on the lowest setting possible. She's basically sleeping like 2 nanometers above the floor. And you know, Red Green said if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. I am proud to say that I used an Allen key to unscrew all 6 of the screws required in order to make that happen, and then I screwed them in again as well. Now, you might say that's not that impressive, but gentlemen, I didn't even have to ask my wife where the Allen key was. That's right. I know you're not gonna believe it. You're gonna be like, come on, you knew where that Allen key was? No, I took an educated guess and got lucky. But still, it was a landmark day. I felt very independent. I did. A lucky penny. Are you... This is a little bit absurd, right? Like, the lack of payout we're getting out of this, blood bank. Meanwhile, the demon, or the key beggar, paid out on the first play. I want to see if that was, Magic Mush. Like, we're really going for broke here. We're gonna get a deal here. In all likelihood, we have an 80% chance. I would take what I can get, but I'm also definitely taking advantage of the fact that we're, you know, we've got the ability to take as long as we want here, really. Because I don't want to leave that arcade behind. There's a lot of potential yield there, I think. Where is... Oh, there you are. So that was like, you know, that it just added another little bit on top, just a little bit. Got out and enjoyed a little bit of Mother Nature. Not very much, because the air quality was still a little doo-doo. And is, I mean, based on the news I saw this weekend, might be getting worse at some point. But at the very least, there was like a brief window where the air quality warning was only a dull yellow color instead of, you know, like crimson. Like, I guess it's a sign of the times that the air quality indicator, for, like, from the Canadian federal government is a scale from 1 to 10. 1 being, like, you know, it's totally fine. You got nothing to worry about. I don't think they're reviewing the air. I don't think they're like, 1, this air is immaculate. Like, you must experience. This is a must-breathe part of the country. But 1 is, like, you know, totally safe, no concerns. And, 10 is... very harmful. Like, don't go outside or take precautions if you have to go outside. And then for like a few days, Vancouver was 10 plus. You know, it just goes to show you that the air quality indicator was, I guess, made at a simpler time where they were like, what's the worst that things could possibly get? Oh, well, if 90% of the province is on fire, this is as bad as it could get, so we'll make that a 10. That's not how it works. I think they're just measuring, like, you know, the parts per million or whatever. I think I will take Child's Hearts. I'm losing my mind. Like, this one was rigged to never pay out. Just one more juice, just one more tease, and I'm out of here. Second secret room appears to be in an annoying location. That doesn't mean I wouldn't investigate, but am I crazy? How did... Oh, you know, I am not crazy. You just could have placed that bomb better. We could save a key by swapping trinkets, but, like, I think it's just to prove that you can, and, you know, we have 16 keys right now. We've demonstrated that we can just by saying it. Please just be, it won't be full health, but health up, that's actually great. Thank you so much. I would not mind just hypothetically getting, you know, blood bag. I think I earned it. But hey, you know what? It's going to be great for our donation machine. I had a great analogy. You know, I'm not blessed with that many things in life. I think, well, I mean, that's not fair. I'm blessed with you know, a career that I like and a great family, and I just want the damage up, man. I'm blessed with a, you know, a brain that captures trivial knowledge, full head of hair, as long as you ignore the top. And, but that being said, one of the things I'm blessed with I think if we had the SATs in Canada, I think I would have absolutely crushed. I would have, like, broken the curve on the verbal reasoning section. Now, before you think I'm tooting my own horn, I also think verbal reasoning, as measured by the SATs, is, like, not a great way to determine who becomes a have and who becomes a have-not in society based on admission to major universities. Like, you know, I don't know if there's any job on the planet, except maybe this one, where it's relevant to be like, you know, marzipan is to baking as mustard is to blank. And you gotta be like, the sandwich making? I'm going for it, man. You know what? I'm not going for it. You had your chance. Give me maybe we got greedy and that's our lesson here. Maybe just play the Demon Judgment instead. Hey, that's, I'll take it. Please. We actually got a broken one. Like, it doesn't work. But I was thinking, pardon me, I know there's a lot of situations in Isaac that I think fit the bill here. When, you know, because I see it in chat, people will be like, oh, you know, oh, the everything is the blank play now, right? The key play, the trinket play, he didn't go back for the trinket when he could have gone back for the trinket and saved the key. And you're just like, man, look, it's when you're parking your car, if nobody's around, do you always use your signal light? I do, and I'm being completely sincere. I mean, you hear me go off about driving from time to time. But that's like the one situation where when I see someone not use their signal light, and it's like very obvious that they're pulling into a parking spot or something like that, I don't get that mad. It's like, I know you should do it, you know, like the best thing you could do in Isaac is to go back and get that, maybe that analogy actually sucked, which makes the preamble that much funnier, but I know you should go back and get the trinket so you save a key, because maybe we'll get 17 golden chests, because our next deal with the angel is gonna have, or next deal with the devil, I guess, is gonna have Guppy's tail, and it, you know, blah, 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 but there's some situations where you're like, okay, I get you. I forgot to mention, by the way, I had many driving anecdotes yesterday. And I'm trying to choose, like, the best ones, because it's a lot like hearing someone talk about fishing. Like, nobody believes you when you talk about driving anecdotes to begin with. And then secondarily, it's kind of boring if you know, unless it's truly spectacular. But I was turning left to go onto a one-way street, and then there was a driver coming towards me. And at first I was like, this doesn't, you know, you just get the vibe that something doesn't feel right. It's like the way you feel throughout Midsommar, the Ari Aster film. Because I was like, wait a minute, your car's there, but I want my car to go there. And then something, my cerebellum realized what was wrong and just went, it's a one-way street, it's a one-way street. What are you doing? It's a one-way street. Are you okay? It's a one-way street. And she was trying to turn right off of the one-way street to go onto another one-way street in the wrong direction. So it was really like, you know what it was? It was like in Pac-Man when you just decide to yeet yourself and then, like, just run into a ghost. You know, maybe your lunch breaks up or something like that. Like, she was spawning upstream like a salmon. But, you know, you just, there was a time in my life, I'm sure, where I would be like, whoa, that's crazy, and I would think about it for weeks. It was out of my mind within, like, 45 seconds. Because it's just, you see it all the time here. It's crazy. We also, I was turning, you know, right, which if you're not from North America, that's like the easy turn. Left is the one where if you're turning left against traffic, you have to take your life into your own hands and hope like, you know, 90 people aren't going to skip the amber light. And yeah, I call it the amber light sometimes. Come on. You know, so don't let it divide us. There's so much dividing us these days. I don't know what my reasoning is there, but everything was safe. I had the light, and I go to turn, and then I mean, I don't know if a bike can cut a car off, because obviously there's a power imbalance there. Wait, I mean, the only way I know how to describe it is that they were J-biking. Like, we have bike lanes in the city. Most roads, I would say, now have bike lanes. We got a great biking infrastructure. They were biking on the wrong side of the road, so they were like in the bike lane as if they were British. And there is a right way and a wrong way, you know, because you're on the right side of you should be on the right side of the road relative to your frame of reference. Not the correct side, but literally the side that's rightmost. Stopwatch is so good, but I actually don't know if we want it for the beast fight. Well, that's actually pretty sweet, honestly. Moreover, here we don't want the coupon. Like, what's interesting about going to the beast fight is that like the items you want are actually a little bit different. Like the coupon. If we had enough deals with the devil, we would be, remaining, I should say, we might be stoked. But actually, for the beast fight, we're pretty happy to have, please, let's go. For the beast fight, we're really happy to have, more HP, honestly, and the ability to keep it coming. I say this, like, I'm a prolific pedestrian. I am I have cycled a lot in the past in Vancouver. And I drive here and there. I don't think it's necessarily just a Vancouver thing. But, man, I'm like, all groups, that's the boss fight. All groups within that, no matter what mode of transportation you're taking, there's things that are going to annoy you about that group. Like for Vancouver drivers, it's not being, and this is just a stereotype, but it's, and again, apply this to your city as you see fit. I don't know if there's anybody on earth like that's like, oh, good drivers? Yeah, my city's chock full of good drivers. Even like when I think about this stereotype of like what you know, like what country is renowned for you know, skilled motorists, I think of like, you know, oh, in Germany, like, you know, they have the Autobahn, you drive at a speed at which you feel comfortable, and I you know, the German stereotype is also, you know, very precise and no nonsense and et cetera, but I'm sure if I asked somebody that was from Germany, it's just like, it's human nature to be like the drivers here are, you know, self-destructive, and it's the mom speech. You're self-destructive. You drove it? You drove it all? But anyway, like, oh my god, dude, we're getting so lucky here. Like, the drivers, unskilled, don't pay attention, $250,000 car with a sticker on it that says they're just learning how to drive. Like, that's the typical, that's the classic Vancouver stereotype for driving. Pedestrians exclusively wear all black Arc'teryx athletic wear in the rain at 11 p.m. at night, and then also don't respect the walk, don't walk signal. To which I know there's going to be a... Look, I'm not out there like trying to get to where I want to go as fast as possible. I literally just don't want to hit someone with my car and kill them. That's like the one thing. So if you're like, well, it's still your responsibility to watch out for the jaywalkers. I'm like, yeah, I know, and I do. But at the same time, like, you know, it's also, I'm not trying to be out here like, oh, they went slightly faster than me. I'm like, please don't make me get in a car accident that, you know, leaves me saddled with guilt for the rest of my life. I'm willing to, and ruins yours, I guess. I'm willing to actually just step on this. I know it seems like a waste to like lose your bone heart like that, but we do have the cancer effect like right off the bat here, which is delightful. I'm actually willing to lose our other bone heart. Whether they're bone hearts or spirit hearts, it doesn't matter that much to us, I think. Doesn't matter that much to me. Just remember, you gotta save a bomb here. I'm doing this just to get rid of the item description mod. So we had 2 more plays. I mean, the fact that we're taking half damage is like, that's the dream right here. That's why we're toughing it out. Okay, we just got money. But the money that we got here, actually, like, I recognize we're... You know, maybe... Can I say that we're maybe playing too hard? I don't know if that's something I've ever been accused of in this game before. But the money that we got here stands a pretty realistic chance to at least get us SMB Superfan. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Anyway, and what's the cyclist thing? Well, you know, the Vancouver cyclists, you know, they're a pretty competitive sort. You could be just having like a leisurely bike ride, you know, along like a very tourist-heavy part of the city, and then you'll hear, you know, like Captain America behind you, like on your left, ring, 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 SMB Superfan, SMB Superfan, and you're like, dude, just chill. We're in Stanley Park. Like, this is not, you know, the Grand Fonda or whatever. SMB Superfan, thank you. I mean, might as well fish for it. I mean, I don't think we really want it, but at least we finally got some damage ups, right? Well, I guess we got a damage up on our angel deal. I'm not gonna... Oh, don't leave, don't leave. You need to find the skull. Look at that. I'm a morning person right now. 8:48 a.m. I remembered the skull. I did also, like, in traffic yesterday. Well, not in traffic, but while driving, I was behind a cyclist. No problem, you know. As someone who's been a cyclist, I mean, just in general, I think a lot of the problems that are caused, you know, like road rage even and stuff like that, it's just when people are like, I could be going slightly faster right now. So if someone's, you know, trapped behind a car in traffic, they're like, so true. If someone's trapped behind a bike in traffic going the same speed that the car would be going in traffic, they're like, this is outrageous. If the bike was not here, I could be going the same speed, but 50 meters ahead of where I am presently, right? Like, I find it a little ridiculous. Let me just see what we got here. It's okay. Not ideal, necessarily, but okay. But, you know, we were biking, or he was biking along. I was, you know, giving him the distance that is appropriate. And then he just stopped pedaling and stood up on the bike like he was taking a little break, and I'm like, man, look, I feel for you. I've been gassed while cycling before. But when you're on like, and this is not, you know, making me look like the nicest person on the planet, but, you know, I'm just, everybody's got to use the same asphalt, right? If you're on a bike path or something like that, you want to take it leisurely, that's no problem. But when you're on like a street that's called, like, you know, Main Street or something like that, I'm not saying you can't stop pedaling, but you got to do like what pedestrians do when they cross the road and there's a car coming. You just, you know, pretend that you're exerting effort, but actually go at whatever pace you wanted to go to begin with. You do the fake little half run where you're like, oh. Okay. As long as I'm being unnecessarily cynical about transportation methods, you know what really grinds my gears now? And you might think I walk around with a chip on my shoulder, but actually I'm a pretty, pretty happy guy, honestly. I'm listening to podcasts, I'm pushing the baby. The baby is like maybe not all parents would agree with this, but is a pretty extreme, like, mood buff to take the baby outside for a walk. First off, you're not reading the same 7 children's books over and over. Hey, zookeeper, flip the flap. What's that? A scratchy elephant. Feeding time, flip the flap. What's that? A silky penguin. Take a nap, flip the flap. What's that? A furry panda. Crazy creatures, flip the flap. What's that? A scaly snake. If you think you're the only one going to bed, you're in for a surprise, my little sleepyhead. The cow let out a dreamy moo that says, go to sleep, honey. We love you. The dog and cat cuddle up and dim the light. They whisper sweet dreams, nighty-night, and sleep tight. Mommy ladybug tucks her bitty bugs in just right. I love you all, she says. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Mommies and daddies go to sleep, too. They wake up rested and ready to tickle you. So going to sleep is not just for you. Everyone everywhere goes to sleep too. And stop me because I could just keep going, man. I don't even need the books anymore. I can just right off the top of the dome piece, right? But you know, first off, so you're not reading those for the 1 billionth time, which is super nice. But then secondarily, everybody that is normal that sees the you and the baby looks at the baby and smiles. Some people don't look at the baby. That's fine. I think that was probably me for most of my life. You see a baby, you don't have to look at it. I see babies all the time. Yeah, it's the cutest baby of all time, but whatever. I consider that normal. Some people like look at the baby and they don't smile. That's where I'm like, this is almost like the Voight Kampff test from Blade Runner. I'm like, you're an android and I've spotted you. This is a cute baby. It's in human nature to smile when you see a cute baby. What are you, an anti-natalist? It's possible. I've seen this. Not when I say the subreddit, I don't mean the I don't mean r/Northernland this time. I mean the anti-natalist subreddit or r/childfree. But either way, it's a mood buff in that sense. But you know what really grinds my freaking gears, man, is the trend of. Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with the mode of transportation. It's just the way in which it's used. I knew it would come for Vancouver eventually because I think I saw it for the first time in San Francisco or Seattle, and you knew it was just one of those things that was going to happen. Those motorized scooters, not like a Vespa, but like a Razor scooter with like an electric motor on it. And I think it's kind of cool, right? Like, it's similar to a bike, but maybe, I don't want to say it's more energy efficient, but like, I guess it's kind of like an e-bike that takes up less room, maybe is one way to think about it. You know what? We're actually better with the Red Heart here. And I see them used a lot by, like, you know, Uber Eats drivers and stuff like that, and you know, bike couriers to get around. You know, sometimes they'll use the scooters. Here's where I become like a grumpy old man. I think just about any vehicle that is designed with a motor and also to go fast has got to be on the bike lanes if the bike lanes are available. I never get tilted when I see like a bike on the sidewalk when there's no bike lanes. Technically they're supposed to be on the road, but there's a lot of roads in Vancouver where I'd be like, quite frankly, like, you should be on the sidewalk. I know that the cops might not agree, but you're not going to get a ticket for that here. But like, if you have to go east-west in Vancouver and you're like, I'm going to bike on Broadway, I'm like, man, you should consider, I mean, going a block or two south, and I think you could take, I don't know, like the Central Valley Greenway or something like that, which is designed for that. And now this is how I realize I've become like a 50-year-old taxi driver. I'm like, nah, you don't want to take Broadway for that one, man. You want to go one block in this geographic cardinal direction. But anyway, Broadway is a scary place to ride your bike, honestly. That's fine. We don't sweat that. I'm realizing we're going to win easily here. Even though our run is DPS a little weak, although 2 SMB Superfans in a row plus TechX helped us out a great deal, although it ruined the sound quality and the ASMR of this run. But, you know, otherwise, I think if you have a motor on your vehicle and you want to go fast, i.e. it's not like a mobility scooter that you're just taking to the grocery store, I think you gotta be in the bike lane. Because every once in a while, you know, you'll just be having a leisurely little stroll on the sidewalk and you'll hear ring, ring, ring. You look behind you and it's, you know, Mario Andretti on a Razor scooter with a Tesla Model S engine in it. Goes 0 to 60 in like 2.6 seconds. He's got a Uber Eats bag on his back and you're just like, if I don't get out of the way in you know, a second and a half, I'm going to be flattened here. I'm going to be turned into a pancake. But anyway, that's just me being a curmudgeon. Everything's good. And that's about it. We're just, you know, just having a good time. Excited for like a relatively normal week. You know, last week took Monday off because we came back from vacation on a Monday. And the week before that, we took Friday off because we were going on vacation. Feels, it's always good to have a little, you know, time off. And, I mean, that really was like a 4-day weekend, which I'm not complaining about. Look at Fly Champ. But it's not like, you know, a 2-week vacation or something like that. And, you know, in North America, we got a chip on our shoulder for whatever reason. You're like, oh, you took half a day off to go to the dentist? Congratulations. You just, like, torpedoed our whole company. When I have to go to the dentist, I simply go at midnight and also make sure I'm on a Zoom teleconference with our Asian partner during that time. We definitely want the Sun card. So I have to, even still, I gotta be like, well, the only reason I had to take 4 days off, it wasn't me that made the decision, it was the baby. The baby needed the time. It wasn't me. You can't criticize me because it's the baby. No, man, it was for me, partly at least. But it feels good to have a normal week. Do a little React Core, do a little Canadian Rocket League today. I hate that attack, and I know, like, at some point I should just learn how to dodge it. But, like, the pattern of it is a lie. Or at least, I think I'm reacting to what I want the attack to be, and not what the attack actually is. What I want it to be is, it will never hit you if you don't move. What it actually is like you've just gotta move slow away from it. I think, at least. By the way, unsung hero of this run right here, Mom's Contact. I mean, it's a tier 3 item. I'm not telling you anything you didn't already know to begin with, but doing some great work for us, freezing the enemy in place so our DPS can actually do what it does. And it's gonna be a long time till touchdown brings me back again to find. You know what it actually is, though? It's gonna be a decently long beast fight, but I thought I was out of the way there, obviously. But not as long as that beast fight we had, like, 2 videos ago. I hope, at least. We got a Sun card. I mean, between the Sun card, you know, the cancer item, like... It's yet another situation. This is like, I don't think I can really complain about this, but it's not a gripe from like a game design standpoint. It's more just a gripe to gripe, I guess. But, you know, like, we've had a lot of situations in particularly the beast fight lately, where just, you know, you make it to the fight, the chance of you dying is fairly low. However, your own ability to actually make it through the fight takes forever. That was completely my own bad there, obviously. And I don't think, well, let me put it this way. I think in a roguelite, you've got to acknowledge that, you know, there's no way to smooth out that variance curve, so, like, absolutely every run is gonna have a moment at the end of it where it's, like, insanely exciting. You know, even games with really difficult final boss fights, I mean, Spelunky's like the classic example where, like, you know, when you reach Yama, you're like, the run's already over, right? Like, the difficulty curve in that game is so unusual compared to the average game, where the final bosses are, you know, typically the most difficult, or some of the most difficult. In Spelunky, when you make it to Yama, you're like, you just, you know, throw 2 bombs, throw a rope up under this thing, and then just mash the bomb button or the shotgun until you hear doom doo 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 doo. And this is actually going way faster than I thought, by the way. It turns out all of my complaining was for naught. But yeah, sometimes in a roguelite, you're just gonna roll, you know, not even natural ones, you know? You're just gonna roll, you know, 4 7s in a row, and then as a result of that, you're gonna you're going to be in this situation where it takes you a while to win, but you also mathematically can't lose. Patience, it really is a virtue. I don't particularly extol the virtue, or I mean, I guess I sing its praises because I know that I don't have it very well for myself. I do tend to be a little impatient. It depends on the circumstance. I always get roasted for it too, but let me tell you, and I don't know, this is where our screen region problem started, by the way, was people being like, oh, the beast fight scrolling camera is like really disorienting. Then I adjusted my screen region. Ever since then, that's where it started. That smile. That darn smile. People think I'm like a boomer, and I am in some ways, you know? I invest like a boomer, but I treat retail staff and customer service workers and stuff like that, food service workers, I treat them like a zoomer. Which is to say, if I was even bullied by someone, if they were like, hey, Four Eyes, what can I get you today? I'd be like, thank you so much for your service. But if I'm at a store and things are taking a while, I'm like, that's normal. If it's like staff related, I'm like, they're busy. If someone in front of me that's a customer is like, I can't choose between whole wheat and white bread, I'd be like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Get back here. You're not an intellectual. You're a fake and a fraud. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. We're actually building a nice little Dead God streak here of 6 in a row. Thank you to the randomizer for that, and I'll see you next time. See ya.